Welcome back. In the first section of JavaScript, we will be talking about the two types of website, static website versus dynamic websites, the pillars of web development, HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Where does JavaScript run? Then we will get into the language to talk about variables, how to name them properly, and what are the data types we have in JavaScript. So first of all, let's talk about static website versus dynamic websites. What is a static website? So as we see over here, this is a static website. So first of all, a static website, they are a website that contains HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. This code is hosted on a server, and when someone do www.mywebsite.com, the server is going to send those files to the user to run them on the browser. So there is no processing for the code, no generating for the code on the server. It's only hosted on the server. And as we see over here on this website, whoever is going to request this website is going to see the same pages. We can still listen to user events, user interactions on the page, but it's because we have JavaScript running on the browser. I don't mean JavaScript that runs on the server. For example, something like Node.js. For example, in here, if we click on portfolio, we are going to go to another page, and we can see on the URLs on the URL it's the same page /portfolio. So we requested a new page from the server, a new HTML, CSS, and JavaScript file. By the way, a static website doesn't mean it should be like those three files. It could be only HTML or HTML and CSS. But the main point that I want to explain is there is no code generated on the server. The code is only hosted on the server. Talking about dynamic website, there is a very popular example we can talk about, for example, Facebook. So when I log into my Facebook account, I'm going to see a different page than the one you are going to see. Why? Because like the Facebook is going to pull my data from their database, my list of friends, the pages that I like. So the template is going to be the same, but the content of the page is going to be rendered on the server and send it to me. The content that I'm going to see is different than the content you are going to see. So this is the main difference between static website and dynamic website. Static website files or code is hosted on a server. Dynamic website, the code is generated on the server. So as a wrap-up, a static website, it's a website that can have HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. The code is not dynamically rendered on the server, but it's still hosted on a server. Page content can be changed via JavaScript on the browser, but not on the server. And a static website doesn't mean that the code or the page doesn't going to be changed, but it just means that it is pre-built on the server, and the server is going to send us this code. So dynamic websites, the content is generated on the server via using some server-side languages such as Java, Node.js, or PHP. We can use the example, the Facebook example over here. The server is returning a dynamically generated HTML pages. The pages can be changed, still be changed via JavaScript on the browser, but the server has nothing to do with those changes. And dynamic means that the HTML page is rendered on the server for each request. For now, let's do a quick exercise. You can pause the video before answer the question. So content of web page cannot be changed at runtime. So we will be receiving the same content each time we do a request. So this is a static website. Server-side languages such as PHP, Node.js are used. I think this is a clear one because there is some code is rendered on the server. So it's dynamic website. Content of a web page can be changed. Again, our great Facebook example. So it's another dynamic website. No interaction with database possible. It's a clear one. it's the same data, it's the same files we are going to send per request. So it's a static website. Interaction with database is possible. It's the opposite. So it's a dynamic website. It is faster to load as compared to the other type of website. So I'm gonna give the answer. It's a static website. Why it's faster to load? Because we are just sending the code. We haven't done any processing on the server and then send the code to the user. So it's just sending the code immediately when the user do a request for our server. Lower development cost. Definitely it's a static website because doing HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, I mean, you cannot compare the effort if you want to add some PHP and Node.js, for example, as a backend language. Content may change every time the page is loaded. Again, I'm not gonna say the example, I think it pop up into your mind. So it's a dynamic website. Feature of content management system. If you don't know what's a content management system, uh, WordPress is a content management system. Joomla is a content management system. If you don't know what's WordPress or Joomla, so basically it's a tool that helps people to who don't know how to code to create websites. So they provide you with like a control panel. You write an article, and the content management system will change it to code and show it on the browser. Basically, you have to install it on your server, and it has some databases. It's built via PHP, talking about WordPress. So we have database on some backend languages. So it is a dynamic website. HTML, CSS, JavaScript is used for developing the website. Uh, if let's take this to this example. If JavaScript is only used on the browser, so it's a static website. If there is some JavaScript like Node.js running on the server, it's a dynamic website. But since it's saying JavaScript, so it's not Node.js, so I'm gonna say it's a static website. Some content is delivered, same content is delivered every time the page is loaded. I think this one is easy. It's a static website. Hope it was a nice and easy concept to you guys, and see you in the next video.